Hi, guys, and welcome back to I Will Go Down with the Ship. This is Fandom Friday. I am Heather.
I'm Chelsea.
And this is Erin. We're really excited to talk to her today. Chelsea, go ahead.
Okay, first, I feel like my bag is looking at us and it's freaking me out a little bit. So I'm going to move that because that's weird. Now we're good.
Okay. All right. So, Erin, why don't we ask we've been asking people that we talked to, what are your top 3 ships? They can be current, they can be like past, but just in general, so we kind of get a feel for you. Like, what are your top 3 ships?
Oh God, that's so hard. I feel
I
like
know.
it's daily. I would say right now I'm definitely reading. How are we pronouncing it? Gulsi?
Yeah.
Gulsi?
I think
Okay.
so. Yeah.
Um, I just saw Twisters, so I'm definitely shipping Kate and Tyler right now. Um,
I want to see that so bad.
it's so good. Go see it. Go for the tornadoes, stay for the enemies to lovers. It's beautiful.
Ooh,
It's like I was like, it's a fanfic. It was lovely. So those two definitely, and then honestly, anything Pedro Pascal, he's kind of one of my other favorites. So I'll read anything related to any of his characters. But Gulsi is definitely my number one at the moment.
It's what I've noticed is so like I saw Deadpool and Wolverine on Friday, and one of my like favorite ships from when I was younger was Wolverine and Rogue. And so like I after watching it, I'm like, oh, I want to go dip in and like go check out some fanfics. And it's like I am so hardcore Ghoulsy right now that it's really hard to like move back over. And it sucks because it's like, no, I love Rogan. Like, I am here for it. I want it. But it's like, but then I'm like, wait, but what if there are more fics for Ghoulsy? Like, and then I just find myself like going back to Ghoulsy.
We're just refreshing AO3. We're like, come on,
yeah.
let's go.
And I feel so bad because like I'm reading like this really epic fanfic right now, and it's like she's so good about updating like every few days, and like I'm just like, can I get it now? Like literally an hour after she posts, I'll read it. I'm like, can I get the next one right now? Like I can't wait. So yeah.
Well, you have to share the name of that fanfic just in case.
Obviously, it's an equal partnership. And it's like that's what it's called. It's almost 200,000 words, but
Wow.
it's written so well. Like, you know how you have the super long ones, but sometimes they're written so bad and you're like, I want to read this and get wrecked by this long fic. And it's just like, oh, but she's so good. And the characters are so good, and I'm obsessed with it. So like if you need to just get wrecked by a fic, like
Yep,
that
adding
one.
it to my list.
Yeah. What about you? Like now I need your Rex right now. So
Well, I was reading and enjoying one, but apparently it was by the person that came and destroyed the whole fandom a couple weeks ago. So not reading that one anymore. Gosh, where are my ones? I was just bookmarking a couple. So this is the first time in a long time that I've been in a fandom that is like active in the moment.
yeah.
That makes sense. Like
Yeah.
it's been a while since I rolled up to a fandom as it was happening.
Right.
It was like,
Right.
oh, I'm in the mix of it. Oh, nothing is complete. I'm
I
needing to
know.
bookmark things because things are still coming out. Like I've got PTSD. Okay, like I remember back in the day where I'd start reading fanfics and then they were just never completed. So I
Yep.
feel like I'm very hesitant. I'm really worried. Like I need people to promise me to update.
No, exactly. And that's why, like, with this one, she's been so good, but there's that tiny little part of me that's like, please don't abandon this. Like, not right now. I am 200,000 words in. Like, you cannot leave me here.
Right. No, 100%.
Like I'm so into Ghoulsy right now that it's hard for me to like write the actual book that I write.
You're like, I'm trying to do my job and I can't get the cowboy and the vault girl out of my head.
I just tell her, like, write an AU and make that your book. Like, why not?
Do it.
But my mom is like, when are you writing more of your book?
See, that's funny.
You're like, when my hyperfixation goes away, which is gonna be never, so
When November rolls around and Yellowstone comes back, probably then.
We've been rewatching and binging, and like I love Rip and Beth so much. And like I don't know that they have an official ship name, but I've just been calling it Ref in my head. And like I'm rewatching it and I still love them so much, but like my brain is just like all the RAM is consumed by
Yeah.
goals right now.
Yeah.
and I think it part of it is that it's an act of fandom. Like it's not
Yes.
dead.
Well, and between that and like I had a horrible chronic illness flare up last week.
Mhm.
Like, I tried to write an episode last night that should have gone live today. And then I got like 300 words and I was like, it's 4 a.m. I'm just gonna go to sleep now. I cannot.
Yeah.
Um,
Chronic
I
illness sucks.
I don't think it helps that Walton is like literally feeding the fandom. Like
Sharing
s-
it now. Did you guys see that?
yes, yeah, I'm like, Jackie, I need to get your stuff shared so hard. That AU babysitter edit that
Yeah.
she did, I watched it like 10
Right?
times.
All her stuff is so good.
I'm like, I need a fanfic of that. I
Mhm.
need it. Like, oh my gosh. And honestly, like my headcanon right now is that Walton ships Lucy and
100%.
100%.
Not even headcanon. I think if
Yeah.
we watch enough of the interviews, like I feel like the vibes are there. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, he's
Like,
feeding
I
us.
want the podcast so badly. Like, I need that man to watch the podcast, please.
Please.
Like, I want to see him when this show is over, go back and watch the podcast and just take clips and react to them and be like, they were right.
They knew all along. Yeah, dude.
No,
Yeah.
but I love that he loves that everyone's thirsting over him because sometimes
Yes.
actors can be like weird about that. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Fuck you. It's part of your job. You know, like you need this. But he's just like posting the thirst ones. Like literally the one that he posted had like daddy in it. And I was like, good job, Walton. This is why I
Yeah.
love you.
And I love how secure he and Nadia are about that.
Yeah.
Some actors' wives would like flip their shit if, you know, people were thirsting over their husband. But to me, it really speaks to how healthy and secure their relationship is that he feels comfortable sharing like fan thirst videos of himself.
And
That's
let's be honest, if he's posting photos, like 95% sure she took them. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, you want thirst traps? Here's my husband in a barely there towel. Here you go, internet.
Right. And like, I love
She's
that
feeding
that
us.
speaks to like, she sees how fine her husband is and she's like, here you go, thirst away.
I
That's
have a
like so
feeling
nice.
that her philosophy is probably like, damn, the whole world is finally seeing what I've been seeing, and like,
Yeah.
glad you're all catching up.
And I love that everyone's seeing it like as he's this irradiated ghoul. Like it's not even like the Boyd Crowder when he was damn. Like I just watched Justified. Like he looks good in that. But it's
Yeah.
like no irradiated ghoul. This is where all the thirst traps are coming in. Like I love that shit. Like I love he's such like beast mode. Like not like typically attractive, and I'm like, fuck all of you regular hot guys, you suck. I'm like, it's Walton's
Yes.
turn, bitches. Like,
Yeah.
Swagger and energy are so there. They're like
Yeah.
always, woo. What was it?
Yeah, he had the, what are the kids saying? The Riz. He had the
I don't
Riz.
even know what that means. I
I
feel
think it's
weird
just
saying
like,
it.
I know, I'm too old. I'm 35.
I'm too old
I
too.
can't be saying that.
Fine. I'm too old to say it, but like he's got the swagger.
That, yes, swagger. That I
Yeah.
think is what Riz is. I think Riz is swagger. Yeah.
Swagger is such a cooler word than Riz. Like
know.
Riz sounds like things that we only talk about in fanfic. Like,
Right?
like
Very much so. Yeah, I
Anyway.
find it really interesting that the general populace seems to be coming, like, not to the conclusion, but they seem to be realizing that like people like dark ships, And
Yes.
that shit's been going on since the dawn of time. Like y'all are late to the party,
For
and
real.
Right.
I
like
feel
you're
like
pearl clutching, but this is nothing new. Like we've been doing this for a minute. Like
I'm here like Bruce Willis at the top of the Nakatomi building. Welcome to the party, pal. I've been here for forever.
right, I'm over here like as a little kid being like, well, Hans Gruber and Alan Rickman, I love him. He's hot. So like, I don't know, let's ship him with somebody, figure it out, find a person. Like, I mean,
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Snape, I shipped Snape with whoever I could throw at him. I was like,
Dude,
I don't
me and I do shit Snape and Hermione. Like, I'm just
okay,
like,
I did too, and I was really embarrassed about it for the longest time.
don't be. I love the professor teacher, like the stuff together. And I've read Manacled, you know, the Dremmy,
Mhm.
like that one. Oh my gosh, like just the writing. Like I was like,
My
okay,
sister
I
ships that. She ships
yeah,
Hermione hard.
Chelsea does too. But I
And
love
I do too. She got me onto it, and it's funny because we'll text each other and we'll always be like, we know we're having like a mental health moment when we're both back to like reading Hermione fanfic, since that was like some of our original ships.
yeah, no, I feel like that's comfort. Like,
But yeah, no, the fact that like just the general populace is suddenly realizing like, oh, women ship
want
things
this?
and read fanfic that maybe they wouldn't want to, like, it's fantasy. It doesn't mean that we want to have that experience in real life. Some of us do, some of us don't, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
like no
frustrating.
judgment either way.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Well, it's frustrating too because it's like I feel like it kind of the secret kind of got out with 50 Shades of Grey. But
Mm.
because of how it was received and even to a degree how it was written,
Mm-hmm.
it was completely written off like, oh, that's cute, even though the books have sold like she's a billionaire basically for
Right.
writing 3 books. And I'm like, if you look at the statistics, women are the movie going audience. Women are the ones who are making like buying things, you know, and it's just like, why not just cater to what we want? Like, my thing right now is like, I'm watching House of Dragon and I'm really going insane because of this, what they are doing to Daemon and Rhaenyra. And it's completely opposite of Fallout because that ship is so toxic, but everybody loved it because it was toxic. Like, Daemon literally slices somebody off for calling his girl a whore. I'm like, yes, I want more of that. I don't want him to apologize for it, but I feel like this season he's like, he needs to sit in timeout and think about what he's done. Like he's now all of a sudden feeling guilty, but now he's being a little bitch because he's like, Rhaenyra, like, I'm gonna take your crown. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're gonna take her crown. Like, you've known this for how long? You're married. Like, they're both being petty and they're stupid. And I'm like, what do you do? And I'm like, I just want everyone to write like Fallout. Like, as at least season 1, flawless. Like, I do not see anything wrong with season 1. And I'm just like, just let your characters, you know, don't me and Chelsea are so worried about like that they're gonna martyr Cooper or they're gonna send him back to Barb and she's gonna get a redemption. Like, we're just
I
so worried.
don't, so my philosophy is I think Walton is really involved in the whole creative
Yes.
process. And he's so like, no, Barb is the devil,
Yes, I
that
saw that too.
I don't have a like, I don't think he would let that happen. And narratively, like, I'm not a writer and I don't even write fanfic, but narratively that wouldn't make any sense.
I
Like
agree.
she literally was like, let's drop nuclear bombs because it'll make money. Like that is so against his character and his morals and, you know, who he was, that I can't see him like even every fanfic I've read. I haven't read a lot of them where he finds Barb, but like the few that I have, he like smacks her and goes to find his daughter. You know, like it wouldn't make any sense.
Okay, did you watch Game of Thrones?
I didn't know, but I know about
Okay.
it just because I'm friends with enough people that did.
Okay, do you know Jamie and Cersei, like the
Yes.
twins? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so Jamie had this wonderful, glorious, beautiful character arc, and even though like I wasn't like hardcore shipping Jamie and Brienne. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Brienne is like the night. Okay. And then at the fucking last episode, he decides to go die with his sister. I'm like, what? So it's like, yes, what you're saying, 100%. And I have faith in these writers
Mm-hmm.
because what they have given us so far has been amazing. But there's always that little part of me that's
Yep.
been done so dirty
Oh,
that
I've
it's
been
just
fucked
like,
over by so many ships that I'm just like, I don't know why I have faith in this one, but here
yeah,
it is. Yes, this is what we're doing. Yeah, there's always that little bit of like, oh no. But I think there's been enough love for the ghoul and for season one that hopefully they see like, no, we liked it because he was bad and sexy. Like we liked it because he chopped her finger off when she bit his finger off. Like
yeah. That he lassoed her and dragged her around and didn't give her water. He gave the ground
right.
water and he called her little killer. And I was like, oh my gosh, stop ticking all my boxes, please.
Yeah,
Right.
like when he said that and the way he said that, I had a whole hot flash from the top of my head to the tips of my toes.
Uh-huh.
That was so good and so well delivered.
Yeah, and when he said that that was their most honest exchange, I was like, God damn.
Oh, like exchanging the rings already. It's basically
yep.
a finger.
Exchanging their trigger fingers.
Anyway.
That he kept her fucking finger and sewed it on his body. Like, excuse me?
No, I got so excited. My husband's right next to me. I'm like, hun, is that her finger? Is that her finger? I started and he's like looking at me like, yeah, that's her finger.
He's like, calm down, it's fine. And you're like, no, there's
not
symbolism
fine.
here.
Yeah.
And then I've got my little like Hades and Persephone obsession going on too. And like it's just so well written and there's so many parallels and like so many good things they can do. But my poor little trampled on shipper heart has like it's like I have PTSD.
Oh,
I've been fucked over and I'm like so afraid. And I'm just like, you guys, please.
Well,
okay, didn't the guy that makes the show made Westworld, right? And I mean, that's a pretty like not dark shit, but I mean, the guy in that is not good.
And I need to watch that. I think I watched the first season. I haven't watched the rest of it.
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't get great. It kind of like falls off, but
that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
In the very least, I remember liking it to begin with because I'm like, oh, the cowboy with the black hat and the girl that's like, oh, I am home on the ranch and whatever. I'm like, oh, yes, perfect. Give me the little puppy dog and give me like the monster. Put those two together, please. Thank you. So the fact that he made that gives me hope that like that's where they're going.
I feel like there's too much that they've already set up and they're so good with their setups and payoffs that it's not a coincidence. Like as stupid as the like I love you in the background, like you know, or even the little heart when he's sewing on the finger. Like I'm just like there's too much here. Like one or the other might have been a coincidence, but when you start gathering everything, you're like, there's no fucking way this is a coincidence. Like this.
But then my trampled heart goes, am I being like delusional? I'm seeing shit. Like
trust me,
like Delulu.
Yeah, well, I watched The Walking Dead, so I shipped Daryl and Beth together.
Yes.
Okay, so 4 years after Beth's dead, I'm like, no, guys, she's coming back, and here's my whole list of evidence here. And so it's like, I get am I being delusional? Like, am I being delusional? But no, she's dead. Anyway, I'm not over that though. Like that was shit. I was like, what the fuck anyway, we can talk about Bethel later, but so I just am like
have faith that Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy are not going to fuck us with this show. Like I feel like they are aware of the fandom and like, you know, and Walton obviously is very aware of the fandom. And, you know, he has a good relationship with the writers of the show and the creators of the show. And I feel like Walton is going to advocate, if not for the fandom, he's going to advocate for Cooper. And he's not going to let the writers fuck Cooper over.
Yeah.
So, like, I have hope that things are going to go well. And I am very, very pleased with what Jonathan and Lisa did with season 1. So I'm just sitting here like very deeply traumatized by other shows, but hoping for the best with Jonathan and Lisa.
I agree. I think, I mean, they said they wrote the character for him.
Yeah,
Like, if anything, he is going to prevent them from
fucking him over.
butchering his character.
Yeah.
And that's good, obviously. That's super
Well,
important.
well, and to your point too, I think that it's really important that even if we don't get our ship, like even if they never ever get together, as long as they don't force the Lucy Max or Cooper someone else, whether it's Barb or someone else, as long as they don't like annihilate the ship, then I'm fine with that kind of questionable ending as long as the characters stay in character. The worst thing is, like, I don't want Cooper to feel like he has to redeem himself to
Mhm.
earn Lucy. Like, I want that pining and that angst, but I don't want Lucy to be like, I can't be with you unless you
Right.
or whatever. I want him to be accepted for exactly who he is right now.
Right.
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 Yeah.
She
And
doesn't need to keep moving the goalpost and being like, okay, well, when you do this good thing, maybe I'll love you.
right.
And I don't,
I
it's
don't
so,
think she's that person either.
no,
I don't think she's that.
she's not. And I was thinking about the other day, I was like, what are they going to do with Max as far as like, okay, if they really are like, oh, okay, they kissed once, but they're
No,
not
and
really right for each
so,
other.
so Chelsea has a theory about Max. Chelsea, why don't you share it with
Hit us
her?
with it. Let me
I
know what it is.
really, really believe in my heart of hearts that they are going to give Max a villain arc and give
Oh, I
him
love
a
that.
downward spiral.
Okay,
And
go ahead, Chelsea. Sorry. I'm like so excited about this.
I
they
am too.
because he's so ambitious, made so many selfish choices along the way. And like he just like has this tendency to just make the wrong choice in
Mhm.
every given situation, almost make the wrong choice.
Or do
And
the right thing for the wrong reasons.
exactly
Mhm.
Yeah.
for the wrong reasons. And now, he's gonna wake up. Lucy's gone. He's gonna assume, obviously, that the ghoul kidnapped her because that's what he is, and he infantilizes Lucy, and he thinks she's a damsel in distress. And he's also like getting all of these, like he's getting celebrated by the Brotherhood now, and he's getting the recognition that he's always wanted, and he's been made a knight. And I really think he's gonna rise through the ranks of the Brotherhood and get a taste of power and become a villain.
And so
Yeah.
we actually talked about this when we did our breakdown of episode 7, but the one pure thing that Max ever did, at least from what we've seen him do, is when he gives Lucy the head to go find her father when
Yeah.
the Brotherhood comes. And we think that because so like obviously right before they have that kiss and it was like, okay, you're gonna come back in my vault and we're gonna stay together or whatever. That was the promise that they made before they kind of she took off, right? But after episode 8 we know that she leaves with the ghoul. So my theory is that Max is gonna find them and he's going to basically be like, oh, I'm here to rescue you, and she's like, no, no, no,
No,
I'm
you're
here
not.
with the ghoul. Like, I'm choosing to be with him, he hasn't kidnapped me. And when Lucy chooses Cooper over Max, that's going to be that catalyst, because it's just going to reaffirm that one good deed he did by letting her go with the head has come around and bit him in the ass. So that little future he saw with Lucy is completely going up in shambles, and I feel like that's gonna like trigger him, and he's going to like be so angry that he's gonna want like that sort of like revenge or all of the power that he can accumulate in order to either get revenge on Cooper, on both of them, or just more control so he can have that safety or something. So that's what we're thinking is going to happen with
I
Max.
love that idea. Yeah, because I think he did, I mean, he made so many selfish choices
Mhm.
that I was just like, are we really putting this guy up to be this like ultimate good guy? Because he's not. Like,
I think that was done on purpose when like she literally meets Cooper the Beast and then she literally sees the knight in shining armor that she's swooning over. I think it was Chelsea that was like, he ticks off all the right boxes that the vault has sort of programmed her to want
mhm.
in that husband or male figure. And then that forced proximity with Cooper where it's just the two of them though is gonna make her realize like, oh, actually, no, I don't want that. I want
Right.
this.
Yeah,
So,
no, I really like that idea. And I
And
hope that's where they
like
go.
yeah.
Max to me fits the Gaston profile.
Mhm.
We're lining things up with Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
obviously. Like Lucy fits the Belle profile a little bit.
A
And
little
then
bit. That's like,
Just a little.
yeah.
Cooper aligns really well with the Beast. And then Max to me like ticks off all the Gaston boxes.
Talk more about that.
Okay. Like
Sorry, I put you on the spot, but
no, it's
what are the
cool.
boxes? Go, girl, go.
All right. He's put in a heroic cast, but he's really not that heroic. He looks heroic on the surface.
It's
He
very
wants
In heroic position,
yeah, for
but
looks.
he's really kind of not, he's kind of selfish. He's,
he
you know,
wants Lucy
takes
for the
shit.
wrong,
He
yeah,
wants Lucy for the wrong
for the
reason,
wrong reasons. He doesn't take her seriously. Like even
right?
when they find the body of Wilsick, he immediately thinks that the ghoul did it. He didn't even comprehend that Lucy could do something like that.
Well, and he only wanted her when she suggested the vault, which is this very like perfect, ideal, like, oh, we'll get married, we'll have kids, we'll be safe environment, very similar to like Gaston's like, let's
Cute
stay in town,
little
you have my
prevention
babies,
line.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and also like if you remember in episode 7 when they're in Vault 4, like and Lucy is basically finding out all of the shit that's going on. He's just chilling, drinking some wine and eating some cheese in, the vault. And when he watches her like getting pulled, he has to like look down at his popcorn and really think about like, am I really gonna get up for this? Like, and I'm like, bitch, like, come on,
The
dude.
popcorn in the hot water shower cannot be that good, buddy.
Yeah.
But it has
So
the same vibes to me
yeah.
and like the same tone as like Gaston putting his stank ass
Ass
feet
feet,
up
yes.
on Belle's
The
table.
books on her books.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it has that same vibe to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I just really kind of want to see Aaron Moten be a bad bitch because I think it would look real good on him. Like
I think he could do it real well. Like,
Yeah, he could.
yeah. No, I love that analogy. And I think what I love about the Gulsi fandom is kind of like at the jump, we see parts of the fandom very like, and even Max like treats Lucy as a child or as this like underdeveloped human.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, stop it. I mean, that's why people are against the ship because they're like, well, Lucy. And like, then you have everyone being like, doing math and being like, no, bitch, she's like 25. Like, calm down.
I had a whole rant about
Yeah.
people infantilizing Lucy and
That's
treating
the
her
word.
like a child. And like, no, she's not a child. She's a whole grown ass woman who got married, had sex, was ready to start a family and start reproducing. Like, don't tell me she's a fucking child. Like, no. I
Yeah.
have a whole thing.
Well, my issue with
Okay.
that argument, because I'm a huge proponent of age gap. Like I love age gap, like maybe more than normal people do. But anyway, that's
Love
besides
a
the
good
point.
age gap as long as everybody's legal, but
Yeah, exactly. As long as everyone's legal. And so my issue is that okay, I don't see you guys coming out against Reese and Freya from freaking A Court of Thorns and Roses or Edward and Bella or any shit like that. It's because oh, they're attractive. So they look like
Right.
the appropriate
Well,
age.
and the age gap's not visible with
yeah,
Right.
those
And
ships.
and so it's like, dude, I love this age gap because it is visible. Like, and
Right.
granted, I mean, who knows? But if he was like Walton Goggins, like if he was Cooper Howard, like if somehow, I mean, I don't want them to go back to Cooper Howard necessarily because I like the ghoul thing, but like if they were able to, I would ship the shit out of that. Like I
Right.
like seeing the differences like that. And so that's one of the like when they use that argument on me, I'm like, you can't have it both ways for women. Are we in control of our bodies? Are we in control of our decisions? If she's 25 and she's had sex before, why can't she choose to go fuck a ghoul? Like, why are we stopping this from
And
happening?
if we want to take the very like Erinne is the feminist perspective, the choices she made in the vault were not her own. So
Right.
if she slept with the ghoul, that would be the first time that she was making a very like her own choice to control her sexuality and control her who she gives affection to. I mean, other than, okay, she kicks Max, but I still think that was part of kind of her vault thinking of like,
Yeah.
it's a night, I have to like, oh God, oh, he's
This is
handsome and he's my
my
Yeah,
savior.
he's handsome, he's
But
my age, he's the perfect
yeah,
husband. Yeah.
sleeping with the ghoul would be her first act of like sexual romantic agency, and
Yeah.
could be so powerful because I'm like, okay, yeah, you got married, you had a husband, you slept with him, you fooled around with your cousin, but all of that was because that was what you were programmed to do by
Right.
your environment. um and yeah, I hate that they look at her and go, okay, well, she was lacking knowledge on quote unquote the world around her, so she's clearly 12. Like, no.
I think they assume that like she's not smart enough to make her own sexual choices. Also, like no matter
Mm,
what age is. And I'm like, no, she's very intelligent. She's naive.
Right.
yeah.
But wait, but
Very
if
intelligent.
if that's their argument, then you could say the same thing about her and Max because he is part of that outside world. Like just because he's her age doesn't mean that she is familiar enough. If she can't choose to be with the ghoul because she doesn't know the world outside, then why is she allowed to be with Max, who is literally like part of this brotherhood who's sketchy as fuck? Like
And if we're gonna infantize anyone, infantize.
Infantilized.
I
There
can't
we
pronounce
go.
it either. I
Jesus,
always make Chelsea
sorry.
do it for me.
I'm
No,
like, I
I
swear I have 2 college degrees and I'm a grown ass adult, but there's some words. Um, if we're using that logic for her, then we have to use the logic for Max. Like, he
yeah.
wasn't taught about sex. He was taught that like having an orgasm was like bad. So I'm like, okay, he's missing a whole chunk. Like, it's the opposite part of the knowledge that Lucy's missing. Lucy has the sexual knowledge, but maybe not the outside world knowledge. He's got the outside world knowledge and missing the sexual knowledge, but no one's treating him like he's 12. Like,
Well,
no,
and
it's
that's
just a woman.
that's such a good point because it's Max is the only thing he's not ignorant about, like you said, is the surface. But a lot of like situations he is very ignorant about that Lucy has a lot of knowledge about, even like history to a degree. I
Mhm.
mean, granted, it was told to her and that could potentially be corrupt, but it's like, she schools him on certain things too. And I just feel and it's funny because things that we take for granted, like the oysters or the popcorn, like Max has never had ever before in his life. And so it's like he's very ignorant in some respects, and no one is questioning him at all in his choices that he's making, even though it's very, very likely. I mean, he's clearly a virgin. So if anyone has more power in this, it's Lucy. And so it's like, why is that okay? Is it just because she's, this woman? And I don't like that because as a woman, I want agency and like, you know, I think that all women of legal age can fuck whoever the fuck they want. And if she
Mhm.
wants to do it with a ghoul, then by all means, I'm here for that. So yeah, I don't
And
like that.
you know, people can ship whoever they want, and if they want to ship Max and Lucy, that's fine. But I think a lot of the people who are against Lucy and the ghoul being together are literally like their issue is the ghoul's not traditionally handsome.
Yeah.
Which,
It's
what planet are they on?
I
Motherfuckers
don't
hot as
know.
hell.
I
actually
don't know.
like in their book, he is not like traditionally attractive, and they lean towards Max because he's traditionally attractive. And that's literally all I like, in my opinion, that they're going on. I could be wrong. They can feel free to correct me, whatever. But like, I feel like they want to put Max and Lucy together because they're both conventionally attractive.
And
No,
it
I
could
agree.
be part that like technically to them the ghoul's not human, so then you're getting into like monster fucking territory, which makes people real uncomfortable.
I mean, and
Um,
they're welcome to be uncomfortable about that if they want to, but like, don't judge us for not being uncomfortable with that.
right,
Because
don't judge us for being like the beast was hotter than Prince Adam, so
That's
I have been
literally
saying that for my whole life.
no one
even
listens to me.
even as a kid, I was like,
Yeah.
oh. And I didn't
And
understand it at the
literally,
time.
he changed back. I was like, ew.
Ew.
I was like, oh. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
even in the remake.
I've always been attracted to the more like, okay, this is gonna be like, I don't, maybe you guys will get it. When I say like sensual, I
Mhm.
don't mean like attract, like Michael Keaton. I will watch that man in any. I think he's so Beetlejuice. I would the things. Anyway, but like Walton Goggins has that. Like
Yes.
I think he's incredibly attractive. Like not even just, oh, he's fit, but like I think every part of him, the smile, the dimples, like all of him is so attractive. And so when
And the
people
way he carries himself
that's what I
also,
mean by sensuality. It's like that confidence.
vibration
Yeah.
almost. I mean, like it's a wavelength that they're on, and it's a different wavelength than like certain Hollywood traditional pretty boys are on. They don't have that vibration or wavelength
Right.
of sensuality.
And I think it's because they're not traditionally attractive. And that is what I really like about them. And I find them like incredibly intriguing. And so I just I'm really glad like what you were saying, Aaron, like hoping that mainstream is finally starting to realize that these dark ships are really like, and me and Chelsea write dark romance, so we understand the market, like, and people are making six figures a month from dark romance. And it's just so it's just like, how do you not understand that we want this? Like, why are we sugarcoating relationships? Like, just give us what the fuck we want. Like, I don't want
Right.
the fairy tale unless it's Beauty and the Beast, but just keep the beast a beast. Like,
Right. Keep
give
the
me
beast a
all,
beast so I can have the beast in the library. Like it's not
yeah.
hard. Like
Oh my gosh, just imagine if like Cooper and Lucy stumble into a library.
oh,
Like,
that's a headcanon. I'm like, they're stumbling into the library. She's gonna find the little rolly ladder thing for all the books.
or
Like
like he finds her a book. Like he can't give her a library, but like he finds her a
he's like,
book
it's
or
mostly
something.
intact. Here you
Yeah.
go. Like, yeah. I it infuriates my women's studies degree to no end that I think dark romance is ignored because it's a woman's game, right? Women write it, women read it, and media in and of itself is still very stilted to like, what are men interested in? What are men like?
Right.
What do they care about? Like I was just reading a whole thing where someone was like, don't say you're a reader, like you're just reading porn, like that doesn't make you like a reader, like that
I will
doesn't.
fight them
Yeah, I tried to fight them
on
too.
that page, bro.
And I was like, reading, like, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. You're still reading. And as long as you're reading something you enjoy, like, why
Okay,
does
but
it matter?
then that means that you going on Fortnite or playing your like NFL video games, then you guys shouldn't be doing that, or you guys shouldn't be as obsessed with your sports and your, you know, all of that
Yeah.
stuff. Like that's
Well,
what I equate it to.
women are notoriously placed in a category of not being allowed to have interests. Um, Men are allowed to love Fortnite. Men are allowed to love football. Women, if you have a hyperfixation or a fandom or a love of something, you're not allowed to love it. It's wrong for women and okay for men. And that's just, I think, the way it's been. So they look at dark romance and they're like, women interests? What? Oh my God. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I know that like you know, back in the day, like, you know, comic books, I know that that was more like men, and they've like had to sort of, now comic books are so popular, and I know that like back in the day it was like harder for them, like Magic the Gathering, like shit like that. But I just find that it's so interesting, like I think I saw the comparison to like sports teams with like being obsessed with like Taylor Swift or something like that. And it's like, how come as a man, you know, even as a woman who is obsessed with a sport, like I love hockey, like there are times that I feel like I'm not taken seriously. And to a degree, like I came into it late and that's fine, but I still think that I should be able to have a conversation and not be like, "Oh, you're just there because your husband likes hockey." And it's like, "No, we met because we both like hockey." Like I was the one who had the season tickets. He was the one who worked for, you know, and it was just like I feel like, you know, women sometimes don't get, you know, respect that they deserve. And I think that especially in dark romance, you know, like I just want to see more of it. And I felt like they had so much potential with the House of Dragon. But like even in season 1, the writers came out saying, "Well, why is Damon the internet's boyfriend? Like he's
like
such a
they didn't get
terrible."
their own audience. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
even watching the show and I was like, he's the internet's boyfriend. Like, what are
No,
you guys
like
doing?
That's the thing that pissed me off, especially as a writer. I'm just like, how do you not know how your character is going to affect people? Like, if you don't get that, then you're not doing a good job. And then now all of a sudden, like, and it pissed me off because like literally 2 episodes after that article comes out, it's like suddenly he's like throat choking Rhaenyra when he pissed off. And even Matt Smith and Emma Darcy is like, that was really out of character. And so it's like, again, it's like now we have to make you hate this character because you loved him and you weren't supposed to love him. I'm like, how am I not supposed to love him when he was like such a badass? Like, I don't understand that. And so I'm just like, more of that, please.
My favorite color is morally gray. Come on. And like, we're allowed to like morally gray characters. We're allowed to like dark romance, and like women are allowed to have interests and like opinions.
And women are allowed to like morally gray characters without auto reverting to like, I have to fix him.
Yes, they can like him just to like him, just because they like broken things, and he can stay broken. Like if there was a way to like take away Cooper's like ghoul appearance or make him back into a human, I mean maybe the human part like for his daughter, like fine, but like I want him to stay the ghoul. Like I don't want him to turn back to Prince Adam. I want him to be, and I want Lucy to love him. Like if she had to pick, I want him to stay. Yeah, I want him to just to stay the ghoul. Like that's it. That's what I want.
Right.
I'd love to even see that conversation of her being like, no, I love you the way you are. I don't need you to change. Like,
yeah.
Especially if she eventually finds out that we all know that girl was having sex dreams about Cooper Howard.
Literally, that's a headcanon. We
all know it.
No, she found her sexual awakening to Cooper Howard.
Hell yes.
So 100%.
Once she realizes that the ghoul is Cooper Howard, I want not, and she's not so much the new Lucy, but she's the Lucy whose eyes have been opened a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like she's been in the wasteland, she's seen some shit, but she's also seen, I think, especially with the way that season 1 ended, like, oh, the people that I thought were my heroes weren't. The people that I thought were the good guys aren't. So maybe there's more to the ghoul than what I thought. And so then if she is eventually able to piece together, like, oh, this is the same guy that like I had my sexual awakening to, but I kind of like the more gritty version. Like I like the Cooper Howard that is bad and sexy. Like, I'll take him, please. Like, yeah, I pray we have a conversation like that where she just stops him and says, no, you don't need to be more like who you were. Like, I love you the way you are.
Right. And do you have any headcanons or things that you, besides what we've talked about, what you'd like to see in season 2? I mean, let's just ideally say, like, even if it's a slow burn, I mean, obviously we would love to see them together, but at the same time, we don't want them to rush it. But like any like tiny little headcanons that you'd like in season 2?
Definitely the book thing, him giving her a book. Find a book somewhere. I don't know, find a bookstore, find a library, something. Something that survived the nuclear apocalypse. I'd love to see her. Has Cooper seen her shoot anything?
I don't think so. Oh, besides her mom, obviously.
Right. I'd love to see her shoot something and make the comment of like, I'm not very good. And her be like, and him be like, darling, no, you are skilled. Like you're a marksman. Like I can count on you. Here's a weapon. Like,
I kind of love the moment where she shot him with the trank gun in Philly, though.
Yes.
Like, that was
so he's seen funny. So he has seen her shoot. So yeah, he's seen her shoot. I mean, we need like all the road trip shenanigans, obviously, as they travel through the desert. It'll be interesting to just see, I think, like them have conversations now that they're somewhat on the same team. Because they haven't really talked. I mean, they haven't, everything has kind of been very stilted and very like out of anger.
Yeah, the power dynamic for sure.
Yeah.
We want to see her recognizing her finger on him and having that conversation.
Yes.
We want to see the one bed trope.
Oh God, I love that. God, please.
We want to see the reaction when she finds out who he really is and how like, and then my thing is like, I would love it if she just won't stop talking, and he's just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But when she like something happens and she won't stop talking, like, or when she won't talk at all, like he actually finds that he misses it. Like I would
Right.
love to see that kind of dynamic between
I'd
them.
love to see some sort of injury and them have to like treat
Yes.
each other's injuries.
Especially if it causes a removal of a shirt or
I
something.
was gonna say, especially if we see chest, I'm all
Yeah.
for I am all for that. What else?
A thing that I would like to see is like if they manage to catch up to Hank in New Vegas in season 2, like if he attempts to belittle or gaslight Lucy in some way, I really want to see Cooper be like, don't you fucking dare talk to her like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or if anyone, like even Max to a degree, like almost like, oh, come on. Like, I don't even know. Like, but if he's like condescending to her and he tells Max, I don't think you realize what she is or whatever. Like, you know, I would love that.
Yeah, I'd love to see, I'd love to see like someone just assuming that they're together
Oh,
and
the
just
ghoul fucker thing. I want to
yeah.
see someone say call her a ghoul fucker and him being so pissed off about it and her
Well,
being
that,
like,
but also I just want like whether they realize he's a ghoul or not, just to be like, oh, your partner, your wife, your whatever, and then just
right.
have to kind of like roll with it. But yeah, the ghoul fucker
I loved that in Fix. Every time I see ghoul fucker, I'm like, ugh, shit's gonna
and people
happen.
being pissed about it, and then
Yeah.
him being like, I will fight you.
Yeah. I want to see jealousy. I
Yes.
would love possessive Cooper. Like, I want to see that
My heart.
shit in some kind of way. Like,
Yes.
like if it's
Maybe.
another dude, if it's another ghoul, I want him to just, and then I want her to be so mad about it. Like, you don't see me as an equal, I can handle myself. And he's just like all huffy because he knows why he's doing it, because she
Right.
can't handle herself. Like,
Not because you can't
Yes.
handle yourself, but because no one else
Too
gets
much
to touch.
glare, but I need the touch her and you die.
yeah.
Yes. 100%. Like,
Him
I wouldn't
realizing
mind
he likes
seeing
her.
him throw her over his shoulders like a sack of potatoes,
Oh
like
my
fireman style.
gosh. Yes. And her just trying to like hit him and it's not even
Right,
affecting
because
him.
I'm sure she'd be going off about something to
Yeah.
somebody, and he's like, "We gotta go. Like, you're not helping." I mean, I
Oh,
love every fic where they purposefully, and this obviously wouldn't happen. Maybe it would like facetiously happen in season 2, but like for real wouldn't happen until later. But like, Cooper purposefully like kissing Lucy or like grabbing her in a suggestive way in front of Hank just to as a fuck you, like look, buddy, I'm fucking your daughter now, so what are you gonna do about it? Like,
I mean, it could happen if they catch up to Hank in season 2. It could, like, think about that scene from Pirates of the Caribbean when Lizzie is putting on Jack's like gear after he jumps in and saves her, and he gives that look to Norrington like, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? I know what's going. And it's like, so she could literally do something like that where it's like Hank's like, okay, Lucy, you know, like, and Lucy's doing this to save Cooper, give the demon his whatever back. And so she's like, I don't know, like it, I could see it totally happening, and Cooper just like smirking that little smirk he has. And I would love it. It would never happen, but I would love it if it's like, I'm the one she calls daddy now or something. Like, I would love that. Like, just,
oh my god,
I just need that. Like, I would die because he's just doing it to fuck with Hank, you know?
100%.
And like I
100%.
could see Lucy like turning the color of a tomato and having a total aneurysm about it. Like it would be so cute.
Yeah, her just like blush of just like, oh my god.
But she doesn't contradict him. She just kind of
No,
rolls
she doesn't
with
correct
it.
him.
Yeah,
she
she doesn't.
blushes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be so good. So we think we're getting it in 2025. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Well, I heard that they already have scripts. Somebody said they were filming in September. I don't know if that's true or not.
I heard that somewhere too, but I don't know if that's right.
I've seen that on X or Twitter or whatever the hell it is. I always call it Twitter.
I call it Twitter. It's not X, let's be honest.
And like I've seen that several times that they're supposed to start filming again in September, which I hope means we're going to start getting behind the scenes content and stuff on
Yeah.
like, TikTok and Reels and whatnot starting in September. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
I know that Goggins is doing a lot of the the conventions in the summer
Mm.
and early fall. So I'm hoping that if anyone from the fandom goes, they can just straight up ask, like, so
When are you filming?
well, or even just like, so when are Lucy and the Ghoul gonna kiss?
Oh,
Like,
yes, please.
you need to do us a solid, tell the writers, figure that out, because let's
Yep.
yeah, like, and just see
Yep.
his reaction, like, and try to like,
Yeah, I
okay.
mean, I love an actor that just kind of leans in to
And
Right.
we don't really see that, which kind of sucks. Like there are a few, like obviously like Ryan Reynolds will totally lean into Deadpool. Like he
Yep.
will do that. But like I
feel
love
like
it.
Bowser was pretty much the captain of the Rip and Beth ship too.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm. Tom Hiddleston will lean into Loki for sure.
Oh, 100%. I
Um,
was at Comic-Con when they announced the first Avengers movie. So when he like did
No.
that, look, it was the best
Look,
thing.
I was living in San Diego and I wasn't there.
Oh my gosh,
It's
yes.
a regret of my life.
He's amazing. I love that he'll do like anything for Loki. Like you know what I mean? Like
He
he
will
just
die for
loves the
Loki, and he'll
role.
also do anything in a fan pick, like whatever you ask him
I
to do, he
love.
will do.
Have you met him?
No, but
Oh,
everything
okay.
I've seen, like short of kissing people, he's
Yeah.
done literally everything.
He's like, I feel like he's so sweet. Like I would love to meet him one of
He
these
seems
days.
like a good
I
egg.
adore Loki, but my favorite Tom Hiddleston will always be Crimson Peak. Tom
Oh
Hiddleston,
God, me and my
like,
sister love.
my inner emo kid, inner princess,
Mm-hmm.
like, creepy girl is like forever in love with Crimson Peak. Tom
That
Hiddleston.
came out right when I moved to Colorado, and I had nothing to do and I had no friends, and I just moved here. It was like summertime. And so I went to go see it in IMAX. I was by myself, there was no one else in the theater. And I was just like, this is perfect. Tom Hiddleston in IMAX by myself. This is beautiful.
That's a good day.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a good day. It was a good day. Yeah, that movie. In the promo for that movie, he talks about like love or some shit. And I'm just like, just keep talking,
Yeah.
Professor Hiddleston. Just keep talking.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, Goggins is so, I don't think he's been explicitly on board, but I feel like he definitely is leaning
There are
that direction.
I think that he can't I think he can't say too much.
Oh yeah, of course.
Number two, I think that part of it too is, even though, I mean, I always define ships by the AO3. So like if
Mhm.
if it has the most fics, I feel like it's the most popular ship in,
Mhm.
the fandom. And so I was so surprised jumping when I did that first watch through and seeing that it was the most popular ship. I was like, oh, oh my, I'm not like one of 14 anymore.
I
Like,
was like, my crack ship has won? What?
yeah, I know.
My
And
crack
so
ship took out the other ships. Like, what's happening?
I feel like he is aware. But I think that part of him holds back because it is such a different ship. And I
Yes.
think that like he doesn't want to alienate people, which I totally respect. But I do think, I don't know why, call it intuition. I feel like he likes shit like that, where it's like the
Mhm.
complexity of not only the character, but the relationship between the characters. It's not just let's tie it with the bow or whatever. And
And he's talked about the complexity
yeah,
of their relationship. So I think, yeah, he would be.
well, he was the one who came out and said, no, it's not father daughter. And he just
Oh,
shut it
that
down.
day, oh my God, that day we were like, we have one.
Angels are singing that day. Like, I was just like, I was like,
I was
it wasn't even like, oh yeah, I could see, you could see it. It's like, no, it's not father daughter. I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up now. No one can say anything about it because it's not. And if you really think a father looks at his daughter that way, then I don't know what the hell. Yeah, exactly. I was like,
Question.
yeah.
Like,
I got questions. Yeah, I don't, that's if you're thinking that that's what a father-daughter relationship looks like, you need to be on a list somewhere because that's not healthy.
No.
Um, but yeah, I just think there's just such good foils of each other and such good, they're not going to change, they are who they are, but I think they can both learn so much from each other. And yeah, if Lucy ever is able to get him to be like, no, I love you the way you are, like, yes, I had a crush on Cooper Howard when I was 12 or whatever, 16, but you are who I love in this place, in this time, in this form. Hell yes. Like, all the dark romance lovers will fist in the air.
Yeah.
Um,
Chelsea, do you have any final questions?
I don't. I'm just so here for this ship. And like I love feeling seen by all the other Ghoulsies out there, and like making you guys feel seen with this podcast. And like I love how many of us are dark romance readers and dark romance lovers. Like it's a vibe, and like that there's no judgment here, and like we're not throwing shade at any of the other ships out there. Like
No.
people do whatever they want, but like I wish that they would not judge us for shipping this also.
right. It's not reality. Like, we can have our fantasies, everybody calm down. But it also is so refreshing to be in like a crack ship, dark romance
Yeah.
ship that doesn't have like 14 fics and 2 people that ship it. Like
100%. And that it's active. So it's like if I need to go back to the Rogan, like there's not a lot of new stuff out there. And I'm fine rereading, but there's that magic of experiencing that fic for that first time. And you're
Yeah.
just like, if only I could go back and read it for the first time. And it's yeah.
And the magic of experiencing like an act of fandom as it grows, as
Right.
there's so much discourse on Twitter and so much really good like in-depth reading. Somebody was just doing one about, I can't think of who it was, but they were talking about how like Lucy puts on her wedding dress and says it doesn't fit, and he puts on the vault suit and says it doesn't fit. And it's like, yeah, because they were both being forced into roles they didn't want to be in.
Yeah.
And just all the parallels. I'm like, this shit can't be accidental. You cannot.
No, it's too much. Like there's little things, even he tells Barb something like, you always try to do the right thing, and that's why I love you. And it's like, dude, like that's literally Lucy in a nutshell.
Right.
And this is why he hates her so much, is because, you know, like not that she reminds him of Barb, like Vault Tech Barb, but like pre-Barb, like pre that, where he fell in love with her, and he's like almost writing the script of who Lucy is, like, oh, she's just gonna betray me just like Barb did. And so he wants nothing to do with her because it's so easy to fall in love with someone like Lucy, for him at least. And so I just love shit like that. Like,
he like hates her because she is his type.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, no, I've been down this road with you. Like, we're not doing this again. It's like,
well, it was literally love at first sight. The like when he turns and sees her,
he was
like,
gonna shoot her.
That
like,
look on his face, like he was gone. Like,
yeah, he was gonna shoot her, and then he turned around and saw little Miss Vaulty and was like, oh, well,
yeah, he's like, he was done for
sure.
But anyway, Erin, this was so much fun.
Yes,
we would love to have you back. Because the closer we get to season 2, and when things start, you know, rumors or whatever, we want to have you back and talk theories and talk more stuff. But yeah, Chelsea, anything else before we go?
I am good. I'm
okay. Well,
but other than that, yeah.
Well, we really, really appreciate you, Erin. So thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks, you guys. And I will, when stuff comes out, just let me know. I'd love to chat again.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.